Zimbabwe, which made it possible for us to conduct the population universal census, being funded almost fully by the government of Zimbabwe. And in so doing, we were able to produce our results within 6 months after data collection. So as we are going to present our budget, Honorable, let me highlight it to you that we've got a key undertaking that is ahead of us, which is the economic census. So the budget that we have here, which is going to be presented, is also containing that key undertaking, which we started in 2023 and will roll over until 2027, Honorable. Thank you. On this note, I'm going to leave time to Mrs. Mbeka, who is the Director of Finance and Admin. Thank you.
My budget summary. The 2024 budget proposal was guided by the current economic, environment and fiscal policies pronounced in the 2024 budget core segments and other factors which has already been mentioned by our Director General. The urgent operations are largely financed by the government of Zimbabwe with assistance from development partners in selected surveys of their choice. The total budget need for the 2024 financial year is 751 billion. I'll break down the activities. Treasury has set an expenditure ceiling of 42.8 billion, which was communicated to us on Friday. This leaves a funding gap of 708 billion against bid. 2023 budget performance, which was required as well, is out of the total revenue budget of 25.4 billion for January to September 2023, the agency received 15.6 billion through treasury releases. In addition, the agency receives 44.5 million from UNICEF for various services which they were supporting. Recurrent expenditure, total operational expenditure amounts to 15.2 billion for the 3 quarters. The bulk of the expenditure was on agriculture and livestock survey, quarterly labor force survey, and economic surveys. Key expenditure line items up to September 2023 involve the domestic travel subsistence allowances, which amounted to 6.7 billion. That's where most of our funds goes because we'll be supporting various surveys. Employee benefits, 3 billion. Office supplies, 1.3 billion. And hire of training venues, 1.3 billion. Capital expenditure. The agents bought apples for 2,300,000 from Infrastructure Development Bank of Zimbabwe, IDBZ, and the Treasury paid the purchase price. So that was 2023 highlights. Coming to the 2024 budget and earmarked surveys. The 2024 budget was compiled in United States dollars due to the obtaining macroeconomic environment and converted to the ZWL dollar at a rate of, it's a budget rate that we used after analyzing the movement in the exchange rates, where we used US dollar 1 to 7,000 ZWL at the time of crafting the budget. We have 2 programs as an agent. Program 1, which is improved governance and administration. According to our estimates, we estimated compensation of employees at 80 billion. Then program 1 is comprised of the Director General's Office, Finance Administration and Procurement Services, Human Resources, Information Technology. So those 4 sub-programs have been budgeted at 121 billion. Then we have program 2, which is production of statistics. And on production of statistics, we have budgeted for economic census. We have an earmarked census which was supposed to begin in this 3rd quarter, but we have deferred it to next year. With official launch, we settled for 16 November by the Honorable Minister of Finance. So this economic census for 2024, we have budgeted for 364 billion. Zimbabwe Demographic and Health Survey. This one was largely being financed by development partners to the tune of 2,642,750, with 533,288,000 expected to be funded by Zimstat. We have a household budget survey, which we have budgeted for 20,077,000, and that is also being expected to be funded by Zim from Treasury. And we have other surveys which are outside these major surveys, which we have budgeted at 132 billion. On capital expenditure, which is my last item, we have budgeted for capital expenditure of 32.5 billion, 14 billion being budgeted for renovations of Apple House, which I mentioned that the Treasury is funded for its purchase, so that we will be able to occupy and free up some space for other government departments. Then we also need to purchase IT equipment budgeted at 7 billion. Since we did our 2022 population and housing census using IT, so we are developing more on IT for our dissemination, so we budgeted at 7 billion. Then purchase of office equipment and vehicles, which will support these various surveys. We have budgeted it at 4 billion. So that is my submission.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not sure if this is covering the whole Zimstat or it's just for administration.
No, I have seen this budget is covering the whole of Zimstat.
Any submissions, any observations? Otherwise, we are going to rely mostly on your report. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Honorable Nkani, a member of this committee. Maybe I would need a bit of some clarifications. I heard you, if I got you well, talking about the 751 billion being your budget. And if I got you well, you talked about 42.8 billion being the ceiling. So I wanted to know which came first. Did you do your budget before you had the ceiling? Or you had a ceiling from the ministry before you had done your own budget? Secondly, if my memory is good, last term, which is the 9th Parliament, I was a member again of this committee. You told us that financially you were sound, and that's why you were performing very good. And I'm sure since that you are doing very fine. Looking at these variances, the proposed budget and the ceiling, how do you see yourselves succeeding in the tasks that you are facing? Because this is a deficiency. There is a deficiency. If I can see well. So, how are you going to achieve your projected tasks? Thank you.
For your two questions. First question was, what came first, bid or ceiling? Exactly what transpired is I engaged the Minister of Finance, that was last week on Monday, asking them that I know there are budgeting processes which are ongoing, but as the norm, they usually invite us for deliberations, which did not happen, and they clearly alluded that they have assigned a new desk officer to take care of Zimstad. Therefore, it crossed their mind. However, they invited a bid from Zimstad, which we submitted on Wednesday, also with supporting documentation which was coming from the permanent secretary on our request to do economic census, as well as household budget survey, where he was advising us that they will be financed through normal budgeting processes for 2024. So on Friday, that's when late around 3:30, when they communicated their ceiling. So on what was first to us, it was our bid, which went before the ceiling came. So that is the first question. On the second question, surely we have material which is, I can say, a crippling deficiency from what we have budgeted for and the ceiling that we have been given. Our first port of call, since we are a government agency that is wholly funded through Treasury, by government through Treasury, is since we only got this ceiling on Friday, end of day, our first port of call is to engage Treasury and put across our submissions, and as well, like in my presentation where I outlined that we have development partners who sometimes come in, but those we don't have control, they choose whatever they want to assist on and the lines which they feel comfortable. So, of course, though we will be going to the development partners, but we solely rely on the government through Treasury. Last year, like you mentioned, we were very sound, not because we were doing some miraculous things, but it was government which was forthcoming and assisting us throughout the population and housing census. So we expect the same with the economic census, which is forthcoming and which is very important to measure the economy of the country. That's my submission. Thank you.
151 billion versus a ceiling of 42. If we understand the trajectory that the government has taken, once a national budget ceiling has been established, that national budget ceiling in terms of revenue is dependent on our ability to collect. Simple as here. Our ability to collect, even if we use international benchmarks, maybe it's a certain percentage of our GDP. You participated in the macroeconomic framework, and you know these things. So the moment we say, Treasury is saying 42 billion, and then you say 751, the variance is too much. So I don't know how we are going to reorganize this. Because in as much as we can present the 751, Treasury is not going to change much. Because already the ceilings has been given. But the other issue that I also wanted you to, in your budget, were you guided by the budget strategy paper? Because the budget strategy paper is very clear in terms of the theme of the budget, accelerating economic transformation. What is so transformative about what you submitted? Is it transformative? Yes, and also your programs and sub-programs, are they in line with your strategy as Zimstad? Then the last issue that I also wanted to bring out is the issue of devolution of Zimstad activities to districts. Are you again in line with the National Development Strategy 1 on devolution of activities? And the issue of the budget deficit to say, as the finance, they cannot go beyond 1.5% of their GDP. So even if we say we want 751, The 42 is what they say they can afford. And it's in line with the 1.5% of GDP, which is in line with the SADC convergence in terms of the budget deficit indicators. Yeah, so I don't know how we are going to nail that. So maybe you can respond to that, and then maybe we can move to the next.
Devolution of system activities, given this devolution agenda. Currently, the way we are operating is that the statistics that we produce, the data is being collected already in the provinces, and we have offices all across the whole country. In every district, there is office that is there. So already in terms of data collection, it's already been done from the provinces, and just appointed to the office for data processing, given also the resources that we are working within. Yes. And we are also striving as much as possible that we also produce these statistics to satisfy the devolution agenda. As you can see, right now we are producing provincial GDP, and we are also producing quarterly GDP. All this is being informed by the demand that is coming from the same agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, honorables. I don't know if there are any submissions, because we had said them 10 minutes, and now it's more than 10 minutes. Yes, Honorable.
Chair, maybe just for clarity, I'm interested in the part of the US dollar component. You mentioned the 42 million or so. From previous, I said 15 billion, and we got 40 something million. And is that correct?
On the ceiling.
No, I mean on the, when you said you got support from donors.
From the development.
Yeah.
No, okay. That one, okay. That one just on the slide. Okay, thank you. What I was saying was on last year. That was when I was presenting on last year figures. Yes, no, that was. I would like to check on the. On the US dollar component. I picked because I said. Okay, where I said, in addition, the agency received 44.5 million. Though that was ZWL, it has been converted. I did not calculate the US dollar figure, so I just got the.
What? This is 44.
44.5
RTGS.
in RTGS.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was 44 million US dollars. So that's why I raised it. Why are you mixing currencies when presenting figures? Okay. And anyway, it's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another submission? Yes.
Maybe what I just wanted to know, being the committee which oversees your department, would maybe want to know, after being given the ceiling, what percentage as a compromise would you want us to assist you bidding to the minister as a total of the total budget, your budget is compared to the total budget? 42 maybe 750 against the total budget, you are given the 42%. What would be your compromise bid? So that when we support you, we know at least if we achieve this would be better for them. Would you have any compromise percentage or figures?
Thank thank you very much, Honorable. Yeah, so we got your question. However, given the economic census that we have, for us to come with any percentage, then it would mean compromising the economic census, which is a key undertaking for the country. As for now, we are not in a position to have any compromise, because we need to meet the demands also that is also coming from the workers at large. Yes.
The 750.
Yes. Oh, no, compromise.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's being informed by the economic census.
Thank you so much. Maybe the last one, if you look at your allocation for 2023, what's your budgetary utilization to date for the year 2023 from January to date?
Okay, thank you, Honorable. I think in my presentation, for the 3 quarters, January to September, we had budgeted for 25 billion, and we have received 15 billion, which we have fully utilized, and the missing on some activities. So we were working within what we received, at 100% of what we received. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I don't know, colleagues, we have taken more than 20 minutes. Maybe we can transition to Honorable.
All right, thank you, Chair. Mine is a very short one, considering the figures, your budget versus the ceiling. I've been calculating percentages, and I've realized that the ceiling is 5% of your budget, which means there is a shortfall of 95%. So I don't think it's realistic to have a ceiling being maybe extended further to cover that one. I think there is need for reconsideration on this, maybe. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. Very important point. I'm sure we are going to get most of the issues from your report. What we just funded was a summary of the main points that are in your report. So, thank you so much.